Why can't Trump let this go? This has been years now. He's still got to, as the Italians go, over here for Rosie O'Donnell.
Can you remind us what it is that she said about him or did to him? Because it's almost like, you know, he's a toddler. His frontal lobe is not really fully developed, in my opinion.
Okay. Did they sound any different to you?
For Trump, I'm going to say it again, he seemed much more presidential this time.
Oh, no, stop.
I know.
Oh, please.
But think about it.
This is painful to hear.
I know, Joy, but when I listened to him, I actually understood what his main policy points were. Strengthening the military. I felt like, who is this Donald Trump that's in front of us?
It's almost like, you know, he's a toddler. His frontal lobe is not really fully developed, in my opinion. I left my daughter when she was 14 months old in the back of our car. And I was with my husband, and it was a hot July day. You know, he's a toddler. His frontal lobe is not really fully developed, in my opinion. And so he probably suffers from that imposter syndrome. And maybe she did something that called him out on it.
Well, if you watch the clip, she basically flipped her hair, which he didn't care. I used to play with around with
This was what year? This was way before he was president.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Let's see.
2006, I'm being
like
told
25.
in my ear.
It started with an act of forgiveness. Donald Trump last week deciding not to strip Miss USA Tara Conner of her crown after she'd been caught underage drinking.
Mr. Trump, I want to thank you.
Rosie O'Donnell wasn't buying it.
This young girl, Tara Conner, how old is she? 21. She went out and she was partying. She's from Kentucky.
She's so cute.
She went to New York and she was hanging out at all the parties, doing what Paris and Lindsay do, you know.
After she'd been caught underage drinking.
And so he held a press conference to announce whether or not she was going to retain her crown. And then she started to cry.
Mr. Trump, I want to thank you.
So I just want to thank Donald for giving me a second chance.
It was brilliant.
And there he is, hair looping, going, everyone deserves a second chance. And I'm going to give her a second chance. Donald, sit and spin, my friends. I don't enjoy him. No.
Rather than getting rid of her, which a lot of people frankly wanted me to do, including Rosie, I gave her a second chance. She's right now in rehab. Life is about second chances. I'm going to give you a second chance. Rosie went crazy. Now, I guarantee you Rosie would have given her a second chance, but for other reasons. Rosie went crazy.
It was the money, in my opinion. She was saying how many times he was bankrupted and blah, blah, blah.
Well, he's not a real billionaire.
Well,
he's not a real billionaire.
Bullshit.
Donald, good to have you with us.
Well, thank you, Steve.
And congratulations again for being on the billionaires list.
Oh, good.
We always underestimate you, but...
we do, but that's okay. That's all right.
Well, he's not a real billionaire.
Donald Trump's net worth is widely debated. While it's unclear exactly how much he's worth, estimates from various sources put it between $5.8 billion and $6.68 billion. However, Trump often claims his wealth is much higher than these estimates.
Well, that's...
Or he wasn't. He wasn't.
She called him out on it, and he freaked out, and he was so vicious to her on every station. People would take his phone calls in every station, MSNBC, CNN, everywhere he went, even here.
Well, so she spoke truth. She saw through him.
Well, listen, the fact of the matter is, you say what you want to say, but he's a businessman.
Yeah.
He's a master of branding.
Wait a minute. And he's been bankrupt so many times where he didn't have to pay.
I have never gone bankrupt, by the way. I have never.
But he got to try again and again. And you know what saved him the second time? After his father died, with that money, he paid off all his bankruptcy.
Listen to me for a minute.
Listen to this.
Wait. Listen to me for a minute.
4 times.
Listen to me for a minute. You are successful. You are smart. The Trump brand is the premier brand in America. There's no question about it. She goes on her program and she smears and slimes you. She started it, not you. This is all fact.
She started it,
She started
I finished it.
This is not a self-made
He's
man.
honorable. He paid off his creditors.
No, he didn't. He didn't pay off the people he owed. After his father died, with that money, he paid off all his bankruptcy.
He paid off his creditors.
No, he didn't. He didn't pay off the people he owed.
They put you on a payment plan.
Lawsuit. Get ready. This is going to be good.
Put you on a payment plan.
He sues, you know. He's going to sue me, but he'll be bankrupt by that time, so I won't have to worry. But
I'm saying to you, calling her pig face, getting into her sex life,
but
all
she's
of these
allowed-
things, they don't make,
excuse me,
it doesn't make,
excuse me.
it doesn't make
She's
you look
allowed to
good.
make fun by the hair. I don't care about the hair. You know, I'm totally immune
But
to the
that
hair
makes
stuff.
her look
But
bad.
she's
Don't you
allowed to do
understand that?
Excuse me, Bill. She's allowed to do that, but I shouldn't be doing it.
No, because it makes her look bad to do that.
Oh, I don't think so.
I didn't hear a word she said. I was looking at the James Brown wig. If we have a picture of James, it's the same. It's the same one.
I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't.
I love James Brown, but it's the same hair James Brown, or the Godfather of Soul, had.
No, I don't think so.
It
She's
makes her
having a lot
look
of fun at
terrible
my
to do
expense.
that.
Hey, Bill, Rosie is a bully. Rosie was hit between the eyes. Rosie is very concerned because what she said was a lie. When somebody gets on a show and lies, I don't have to take it, or I can take it. I choose not to take it. And if you look at Rosie, she got hit between the eyes, and now she doesn't want to talk about it. She wants to crawl into a corner because she's gutless. That's the way it is. I choose not to take it. And you know what? I know you very well. You generally choose not to take it.
Yeah, but I do it on a different level.
Well, I hope it's a lower level than I do it on.
No, it isn't.
Probably I'll sue her because it would be fun. I'd like to take some money out of her fat ass pockets.
But Trump wasn't done. He went on CNN's Larry King that night and continued firing away.
Or do you think this is over now, Donald?
He did. Well, no, it's never over with me, Larry.
Rosie is really somebody that she's unattractive in every sense of the word. From a physical standpoint, she looks like hell. Inside, she's far worse than she is on the outside. And I understand Rosie. But Rosie inherently is a loser.
But I don't know. It just seems so comical.
Don't start with him. He's
I'm not.
You know how
I'm not
nasty-
afraid, Joy. Don't you remember? I'm not afraid. Look,
Rosie, you're doing it again.
honey, only for you.
Donald, it's Willie Geist.
Hi, Willie.
How are you? You
Good.
considered running in the year 2000. Any thoughts to getting back in and giving it a run?
Well, I didn't really want to run. There was an independent party. There was a group of wild people. They wanted me to run, and they came to me and they asked me to run, and I had no interest. But I just love what I'm doing.
Well, Donald, if you change your mind on running for president, you have my vote. I just want to say
Well, I
that
think that's
publicly.
great.
Well, thank you. I have to ask you about your favorite subject, Donald. Rosie O'Donnell's. I've never quite seen the appeal. I know you haven't either of Rosie O'Donnell. I know she has
I don't
her
get
dates,
it. I don't get it. I know her very well. She came to my wedding.
Oh, wow.
Not as my guest, as somebody else's guest, but. And I got extremely angry because the birthday cake was wiped out. She wiped it out.
Okay, you know.
She is a total disaster.
You're looking around and you're like, I thought we ordered 2 cakes. They're all gone.
You know, Rosie, I think, is just about on the edge of cracking up. There's something mentally, in my opinion, mentally wrong with Rosie, but I sort of have felt that for quite a while.
In the last 2 days, a new round has begun when Rosie posted a poem on her blog, and, well, the nastiness is only growing.
The best thing Rosie has going is her girlfriend.
So vicious to her on every station. People would take his phone calls in every station, MSNBC, CNN, everywhere he went, even here.
Not to let Rosie get the last word, Donald Trump used today's New York Post to call her a mental midget. Now the fight that was in danger of dying out is back on.
So she spoke truth.
And he
She
took
saw
that
through
dig at
him.
her in that presidential debate that Megyn Kelly moderated. He
Yeah.
insulted her during
Yeah, he can't get over it.
You know, Megyn Kelly asks the question, you know, you call women fat slobs. I don't know if we have the clip. And he says, yes, but that's just Rosie O'Donnell. And I remember so vividly because the entire place erupted in laughter. It was full of people.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't.
I'm good. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Ireland. You're not here as a visitor. You're here for the long haul. You're applying for citizenship. What made you up sticks from the States and join us?
Well, there's the President of the United States that has it out for me and has for 20 years when I told the truth about him on a program called The View, where it was my job to talk about pop culture, politics, and I mentioned his bankruptcies, and I mentioned all of the sexual assault charges, and I mentioned that he was not, in fact, the businessman that everyone thinks he is.
Really?
So he held a press conference right before The View went on live, and he said, just want you to know I've forgiven her. And this young woman, I'm like, what is he, the pimp? And she's the prostitute? And who is he? He's the moral arbiter of 20-year-old behavior now, right? So then I said, you know, some facts that I just went on Wiki that were easily accessible since this campaign began, that he is bankrupt 4 times, that he got all his money from his father.
Donald, sit and spin, my friend. I don't enjoy it.
When somebody gets on a show and lies, I don't have to take it, or I can take it. I choose not to take it.
He's been bankrupt so many times where he didn't have to pay.
As an example, they attacked the pageant, which is a great success. She said, I'm on the cover of Forbes magazine on the Forbes 400. So I'm on the cover. She said I went bankrupt. I never went bankrupt.
That's true. That's true. But listen to me for a minute.
Listen to this.
Wait. She goes on her program and she smears and slimes you. She started it, not you.
I mentioned that he was not, in fact, the businessman that everyone thinks he is because of the show The Apprentice, where they sold a bunch of lies to America for over 10 years, and half of America believed it. And so he was very angry, to say the least.
Yes.
And he hasn't let it go, and he sort of uses me as a punchline whenever he feels the need. He will never be president. He will never be president. That's my comment. Watch. Should not be president, and I don't believe that he's a legitimate president. We are alive, awake, and we are woke. People are embarrassed and ashamed of who he is, and that come election day, we're going to stand up at the polls and let him know. And until then, we have to fight with everything we got, because if somehow they're able to rig the elections again, as I believe they did in 2016, then we're going to all be in trouble as democracy dies right here on our watch.
Well, you say he uses, you as a punchline. He was meeting the Taoiseach,
Yes.
Micheál Martin, in the Oval Office last week. You're over here, kind of minding your own business.
Yes.
And this happens.
That I've met. Why in the world would you let Rosie O'Donnell move to Ireland? I think she's going to lower your happiness level.
It's true. Thank you. I like that question. Do you know you have Rosie O'Donnell? Do you know who she is? Do you know who she is?
Yeah. I'm joking.
You're better off not knowing.
President Trump. Yeah, there it is. There he is in all his glory.
How does it feel watching that?
Very, very surreal, I have to tell you. He's been doing it for 2 decades, and I'm still not used to it every time he does. But
This is not Russia. To Donald Trump and his pathetic band of white, privileged, criminal businessmen, I would like to say to him, niet, sir, niet.
We had to go 2.5 years, and then they finally said, all right, the Mueller, remember Mueller? He said, in millions of phone calls, Trump didn't make one to Russia. They went through every phone call I made. Can you imagine? In millions of calls, not one call to me. And a lot of people apologized for that, but not enough people apologized. They wasted time and money. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars going after me, and they got nothing. They got nothing.
You get nothing.
But, you know, I felt very troubled that they put the Taoiseach in that position and didn't treat him with the respect that a leader of that kind deserves when they're visiting the White House.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to have Micheál Martin, Taoiseach, Ireland. It's a special place, and he's a very special guy. He did it the hard way also. He served, and then he took a little time off, and then he served again. I've heard about that. That happens on occasion. But it's a great honor to have you in the Oval Office, and I just want to welcome you to Washington, D.C., and to our country, and thank you very much.
May I thank you, President?
And I wrote the Taoiseach with a little note, apology to his email, and got a note back that they had received it and thanked me. But I just wanted him to know the history and what happened and why he seems to be out to get me in ways that are startling to most.
Niet! No, we won't. We've seen what you have done, sir. We have seen your connections with Russia. The game is over. Even if our major media companies will not call him a liar, we will. He lies. He lies. He lies. He lies.
You stuck out the last Trump presidency. What's different about this one for you that made you realize you're out?
Well, right away was the problem with Project 2025, which the Heritage Foundation put out, and it detailed what they wanted to do.
What type of stuff was in that?
Well, gutting all of the social programs, as he has been doing. Just the other day, he disbanded the Department of Education. And I have a child who has autism, and that child will be denied services, and many, many autistic children, because the funding for these programs for special needs children comes from the federal government as well as the states.
So let's get into that, because a number of government-funded organizations, so these are organizations like Meals on Wheels, right? Their job, their mission, it's a private organization. They get grants from the federal government. They feed seniors.
The review process does not include any public benefit program. So you mentioned Meals on Wheels. That is a public benefit program. OMB has been clear about this.
I just want to make sure I understand. So anybody out there that provides school lunches, anybody out there?
Yeah, there's zero impact on public benefit programs, full stop, as OMB has made clear.
But the biggest reason that it was different than the first time he was in office is because of the Supreme Court giving him ultimate power, the powers of a king or a monarch. And that's not what the United States is all about. And it's a terrifying prospect. And in fact, what has happened since he's taken office has been terrifying.
Let me read you a little bit of what we have from the court. It does find this: under our constitutional structure of separated powers, the nature of presidential power entitles a former president to absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for actions within his conclusive and preclusive constitutional authority. He is entitled to at least presumptive immunity from prosecution for all his official acts. There is no immunity for unofficial acts.
You know, a lot of people did vote for him.
Yes.
Do you accept their right to do that and their opinion of him?
Well, I respect their right to do that. I question why the first time in American history a president has won every swing state and is also best friends, and his largest donor was a man who owns and runs the internet.
Rosie O'Donnell is sounding very like an election denier. This election, she may as well have said, it was rigged. It was a rigged election. It was stolen. Elon Musk apparently runs the internet, which will be news to Elon Musk, given he only owns one social media platform of the vast internet stratosphere.
Well, everyone knows Elon Musk doesn't run the internet. The internet is run by Al Gore, who also denied the results of an election, before Hillary Clinton denied the results of an election, before Stacey Abrams denied the results of an election. So Rosie O'Donnell's argument here is pretty weak. Also, she's just wrong on the facts. She says no president in American history has ever won all the swing states. Ronald Reagan won 49 states in 1984, and he might have won 50. There were some shenanigans in Michigan. So she doesn't know what she's talking about, and that's fine. Plenty of left-wing celebrities have no idea what they're talking about.
You believe the actual outcome was rigged, or just that there were efforts?
Yes. No, I do believe it was rigged. I don't believe it was efforts. And if you listen to all of our mainstream intelligence people, they believe it too. So I would hope that that would be investigated, and that we would see whether or not it was an anomaly or something else that happened on election night in America when Kamala Harris was filling up stadiums with people who supported her. And Donald Trump was not able to do that. When Kamala Harris was filling up stadiums with people who supported her. And Donald Trump was not able to do that.
Bullshit.
You, just like Rosie O'Donnell, have Trump derangement syndrome. And I want to show you something, Piers.
No,
I think, Brian,
you're an idiot.
excuse me, dude, you wouldn't say that shit to my face, so shut up. Number one. Number two,
Okay,
I think
Jersey
people like
Shore.
you and Rosie O'Donnell should sue mainstream media for what they've done to you. And Piers, I brought some photos of pre-Trump and post-Trump. Look at this. This is Rosie O'Donnell before Trump, right? Nice, good. Look what happens, Piers, with Trump derangement syndrome, all right? Rachel Maddow. Look at how hot Rachel Maddow was. And then look, Trump derangement syndrome. She looks like Stephen Colbert. And then look, Kathy Griffin, someone that I might have hooked up with if I was drunk, they turned her into Carrot Top, okay? That's what it does to you people.
I am your voice.
But the fact of the matter is, he's not only bad because he's a liar, he's bad because he doesn't know how to inspire people or evoke that emotion in them of
What about his
truth and of
rallies?
knowing. And first of all, people are paid, Chris. You know that. People were paid since he went down on the escalator. He pays people to show up at
Right,
those
but
rallies.
I don't know that
fact.
that's why he gets tens of thousands at the rallies. I think he captures a
Well,
lot
he
of
doesn't
emotion
get
for
tens
people.
of thousands. When did he get tens of thousands at
A
the
lot
last
of
rally?
these
Tell me when.
Oh, Rosie, I've seen them. He gets big groups of people who come out.